Hello lads and ladies, and today I'm back with another video. Now originally, I was going to make this a review of the stop motion Pinocchio movie, but I just didn't feel like it. Let's talk about the Super Mario movie so far, and its potential to be the new staple for video game movies. Now, it should come as no surprise to some people watching this video that I'm a Sonic fan, but I have also played Mario games much like other people my age, and I've even played the original Super Mario Bros. And enjoyed it. And now in this moment in time where we're on the edge of a Super Mario Bros. Movie, I don't think the future of Mario has ever looked brighter. But with many hopes comes with much caution, and I want to talk about some things that the Mario movie should avoid, along with what the Mario movie has been doing right so far. Because although I'm interested and hyped just as much as everyone else is for this movie, I still think there are a few things to keep in mind. So let's start with what the Super Mario Bros. Movie has been doing right. Number 1. Embracing the idea of a video game world and being an animated movie. So one thing that the Super Mario Bros. Movie has been doing well so far is embracing the game world and making it feel like a video game movie. Now the issue that some of these movies may have is making the game's components feel natural in a movie setting. For example, in the Sonic movies, Green Hills is a fictional location where Sonic is from, and this may not be a bad way to introduce the character, but it does leave people who play the games with some questions about how power-ups work and other areas of Eggman's influence on Sonic's world in the games, which is a pretty prominent thing, seen with Chemical Plant and Stardust Speedway. And we do see they approach the situation in a realistic way, which is not bad, but it would have been interesting to see some of the elements played more like the game. And this is where the Mario movie does a complete 180. It embraces the idea of a video game movie with floating blocks and warp pipes for travel, and the idea of power-ups as magic, although that one seemed obvious. The way we see the world works in the Mario movie reminds me of Wreck-It Ralph, where they embrace the game as part of the world, but in Mario's case, it gives it slightly more realism, and it truly is a marvel to watch unfold in the trailer. Number 2. Showcasing the world. So, something that the Mario movie has been doing well so far is keeping the story simple, but not being afraid of showcasing all the mainstays in the franchise. And what I mean by this is that it's not doing the bare bones to be an interesting movie, but it also does not seem to be overdoing it too much either. A prime example of this actually is in Detective Pikachu, where they seem to overdo it in some areas and kind of lean into the fact that almost everyone who watched this movie at least knows the bare bones of who Pokemon is. And this is not a bad thing because it makes up for that by having a good solid story, along with good actors that may be famous but also fit the roles they're assigned to perfectly. And this is where the Mario movie seems to hurdle over this obstacle by having just enough characters that everybody knows, along with showing some new characters that an average or non-Mario fan would not know, but will know after watching the movie, or at least I hope so. Number 3. Casting and characters. So, I have to say so far that the cast of the Mario movie is pretty good. I think this movie is going to be a prime example that you can have famous actors in the roles of these famous characters if they fit. A good example of this is from Nintendo themselves. When they released the Nintendo Direct for the casting of the Mario movie, you saw that everyone lost their shit when Chris Pratt was picked as Mario. But even when they saw the casting as Bowser, everyone understood and thought that it was a good pick. And when I saw it direct myself, I completely understood why they chose Jack Black as his role, as well as Charles Day as Luigi, since I can see how his high-pitched voice fits Luigi's personality, and Jack Black's low voice fits Bowser's personality. Now let's talk about the worst pick for the main lead. Now, Chris Pratt was not the worst pick for the main lead, but I don't think he would be anyone's first pick if the fans got to pick who would play Mario. And I don't know about you, but I don't think Charles Martinet would fit too well compared to the other voice actors, even though he would seem like an obvious first pick. But the only reason I say this is because this movie is meant to bring Mario to a new audience, and this feels like one point where the Mario movie could have took pointers from the Sonic movie, where they have a famous actor, but they also fit the role that they play, like I said earlier. Another thing that the movie has been doing well is showing the characters, character. And what I mean by this is that although Mario is undoubtedly the godfather of most platformers, he's kind of lacked on the story side and lacks a real personality. On one hand, I can see how this works, at least for the game, where you want to make the main character as likable as possible, and if you give them a personality, then you risk the chance of alienating newcomers to making the main character unbearable to watch, whether or not they have a good personality or not. A good example of this is Crash Bandicoot. Now, I've only played one game on my old PlayStation 1, and it was a demo, but I've seen enough clips of the newer games to get a sense of what Crash's personality is, and don't get me wrong, I see the appeal why people like him so much, especially the kids, but I can only really watch this guy for 1 hour before I want to rip my ears off. But the Mario movie has been doing well on giving the characters a likable personality, or ones that fit who they are in this world. For example, I like how they turned Peach from a damsel in distress into a protector of her kingdom, because that just makes sense, because she's not going to sit by and let other people take care of her issues, because at that point she's not a character. She'll be a plot device for Mario and Luigi to be heroes. Wow, I did not expect to be talking so much about a movie that hasn't even come out yet, but if Nintendo keeps this up, I have no doubt that the Super Mario Bros. Movie will set a new staple for video game movies. Thank you for watching my video to the end. I appreciate every view I get, and I'm glad my videos are reaching people. Anyways, see you in the next one.